everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And August 15th, 2004 marks 20 years ago that history was made at SummerSlam when Randy Orton defeated Chris Benoit to become the youngest World Heavyweight Champion at 24 years old. And for today's edition, I am going to be discussing the success and failures of Randy Orton's first world title reign from August 2004 to September 2004. A pretty short title reign for the Legend Killer, don't you think? And there's a very good reason for that. And we are going to be discussing those reasons why Randy Orton's first title reign should have been legendary, but it was more of a you know, nothing special. So on the July 26, 2004 edition of Raw, Randy Orton won a 20-man over the top battle royal to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight title as he punched his way into the main event at SummerSlam 2004. Now, fast forward to SummerSlam 2004. The build up itself wasn't anything special. Chris Benoit and Randy Orton had a couple of run ins, but there wasn't really much of a build up. It was still all about Triple H and Eugene. And William Regal was in the background somewhere, but it wasn't much of a build up. So Randy Orton went into the main event on his own. No Evolution at ringside, so no Triple H, no Batista, no Ric Flair, just Randy Orton against Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight title. And it was a fantastic match, a lot better than I expected. And they went at it for about 25 minutes. Great wrestling match. Everything you want in a great match, it delivered, and then some. So Chris Benoit tried to go for a crippler crossface. Randy Orton ducked it, flipped it over, and then delivered an RKO and pinned Benoit clean in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, to become the youngest World Heavyweight Champion at 24 years old. Pretty much knocking Brock Lesnar's record right out of the water. So Randy Orton did it. He made history, the youngest world champion ever. Now, here's where things get a little bit bizarre, so to speak. So, Randy Orton became the champion, and the next night on Raw had the big celebration. You know where this is going. Anyone who's a wrestling fan, you know where this is going, and we all know what happens before Raw ends. Randy Orton gets kicked out of Evolution after Triple H, Flair, and Batista turn on him, which I will be covering in another edition. So Randy Orton was the champion and was now officially on his own and turned babyface, which will also be covered in another edition for this series. So Randy Orton's title reign, and no disrespect to Orton, didn't really set the world on fire, if I'm truly honest. And he only held the title for 1 month, and he dropped it back to Triple H the following month at Unforgiven 2004. Now, a lot of people have said, oh, Orton's title reign should have been longer. He should have kept it for at least 3, 4 months. I couldn't agree more. Everything you guys have said in the past, I couldn't agree more. This should have been a historic title reign. I will probably even go as far as to say Orton should have walked into WrestleMania 21 as the champion. There. I said it. But behind the scenes, backstage, Randy Orton just wasn't ready to be champion. He wasn't ready to carry the company on his shoulders. He was already establishing himself as a top guy, but I don't think he was ready to be the top guy. I just don't think he was quite ready to be the top guy. And he was still cocky, he was still arrogant and very childish. For those who probably may not know the whole story, go on the WWE network. There's a bunch of cool stuff about what really happened with Orton's title reign and why he dropped it so fast. As I said, there's not really much to go with. When you've only held the title a month, it's not like he defended it at a couple of pay-per-views where you could say, yeah, that wasn't a bad title reign. At least he defended it. There wasn't really much to go with. I mean, he had a couple of matches here and there, but yeah, he never really defended the title that much. I think the only significant thing I can think of during his title reign, even though he didn't defend it, was he faced Kane in a steel cage match on the Go Home show on Raw before Unforgiven 2004. But that was it. As far as Orton as the world champion, yeah, it could have been better if it was booked right. But like I said, I just don't think Randy Orton was ready to carry that responsibility as the champion. That's just my opinion. I mean, I can't help but feel that Randy Orton winning the world title at 24 years old was pretty much a middle finger to Brock Lesnar for the way he left earlier in the year at WrestleMania 20. I just feel like maybe it was rushed just a little bit. I mean, bear in mind, there wasn't really much of a build up to it. Yes, it was a shocking moment, Orton actually winning the title while still part of Evolution. But at the same time, there wasn't really much of a build up. I mean, if this build up maybe was, I don't know, maybe a month build up or something, then yeah, it could have worked. But really and truly, when you look at it, I think the build up to SummerSlam, once he became the number one contender, was only 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks at most. And Orton was pretty much taking a back seat, really, in the lead up to the title at SummerSlam. It was all about Triple H. So at the same time, yes, Randy Orton winning the world title meant something, but obviously it's never going to be talked about because of said gentleman that he defeated. But yeah, was it a good moment? Absolutely. Was the title reign good? It was okay. It was nothing special. Didn't set the world on fire. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it, to be honest, because there wasn't much to enjoy. I can't really say that much because if I go into more detail about why this whole thing was a failure, then there would be no point me doing the other two editions, which are going to be discussed in more detail. We're just purely talking about Orton's title reign. And the sad thing about this title reign was after Orton dropped it to Triple H, he wouldn't win another title till No Mercy 2007. So think about that. 2004, 5, 6, and 7. That's well over 3 years. It's a shame, really, because if this was done right and if it was booked properly, this could have been a legendary title reign. But we'll never know. Orton was just too young and he just wasn't ready. That's the reason why that this title reign didn't take off the way it did. So, in terms of the success and failures of Randy Orton's world title reign from 2004, yeah, it was pretty much a failure. No disrespect to Randy Orton, very talented, but yeah, it just didn't really work because he didn't hold the title for long. I mean, it's better than Kane. one day, or even not even one day, one what 24 hours. But yeah, 1 month, 4 weeks. Yeah, not that good. Just a complete failure, if you ask me. But we'll talk about the success and failures about Randy Orton's babyface run for another edition and Evolution betraying Orton. That will be covered in another edition as well. But yeah, I'm afraid to say that as far as Orton's first title reign in 2004, yeah, it was a complete failure. Sorry to say. It is what it is, but as I said, there wasn't really much to say about this, to be honest. Epic moment, yes. History making, absolutely. Success, no. Failure, sorry, yes, it was. But hey ho, it is what it is. But anyway, that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What did you guys think of Randy Orton's first world title reign from 2004? Did you enjoy it? Can you think of any memorable moments that you liked from this time? Do you look at it as a complete success, or do you think his world title reign was a complete failure? Do you think Orton wasn't ready to be champion just yet? Do you think maybe they could have waited a bit longer? And do you also think that Orton winning it at 24 years old, do you think this was done to stick it to Brock Lesnar for the way he left WWE earlier in the year? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.